Okay, so this is for 1.2, geometry. Talking about 1.2 linear measure, talking about actually being able to measure the length of a line segment, or just a segment. What that means is that a segment is just a portion of a line, okay? As lines go on forever, segments are part of lines, okay? So if you're looking at a line like this, it goes on forever. If I just take a piece of it, that's called a segment. It's usually named by 2 points. So an example, X and Y here. I have a segment XY here. I would just say that by XY. Notice there's no arrows there. This says XY is a line. This one says segment. So can you find the length of a line? No, because lines go on forever. Can you find the length of a line segment? Yes, because segments end. So how do you measure? Well, we can measure in centimeters, we can measure in inches, feet, yards, miles. It kind of depends on what you're trying to do. So for this first two, AB here is going to be about past 3, not quite to 4. I would say about 3.75 centimeters. The one over here, letter B, it's a lot more detailed. It's got a lot more things. If you count, this is 7. So I'm going to say it's 3.7, 7 out of 10 total, 3.7 centimeters. I would say this is probably 3.75. All right, so there's a little bit more detail to it. When you jump to inches, if you notice something in inches, you go 1 full inch, and then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 6, 7, 8 whole pieces. Okay, so that's where you get 5/8. 1 and 5/8 because it's right past the half. 1 and 1/4 because here it's split up into fourths. So you're only taking one of those, so it's going to be 1 and 1/4. Betweenness. When you talk about betweenness in geometry, they're very, very specific about what they're talking about. All right, so S is between R and T if and only if RS plus ST equals RT. So it's saying if and only if this segment and this segment add up to this whole segment. Okay, I can't say, I can't have a point out here and call it V and say V is between R and T. No, I can't do that because RV and VT, VT, there's the point, does not equal RT. That creates a triangle. So it's not between there. That doesn't work. It's got to be collinear. Okay, collinear is about the only way that's going to happen. So y is between x and z. So if that is the case, then I can add the 2 segments to get the entire length. So 4.5 plus 3.2 is going to equal 7.7. So number 5 looks like this. Find x and st if t is between s and u. St is 7x, su is 45, tu is 5x minus 3. So take a look. I've got 7x, I've got 5x minus 3, the whole thing is 45. So that means the 2 pieces add up to the whole thing. A little algebra, I figure out that x is 4. I got to figure out how long st is, so that's going to be 28. 7 times 4. This one's a little bit different, a little bit messy. Let me back up here a little bit. Y is between x and t. The y is between x and z, I'm sorry. xy is 3a. yz is 14. The entire thing, xz is 5a minus 4. So my setup here is going to be piece plus piece equals whole thing. So subtract 3a, subtract 3a, little algebra. Add 4, add 4. Zeros, zeros. So this is going to be 18. This is going to be 2a. Divide by 2, divide by 2. So a equals 9. So A equals 9, then they want to figure out how big is X, Y. How big is segment XY? Well, that's 3A, 3 times 9, so that'll be 27. So congruence, what does it mean to be congruent? Congruent is basically used all the time in geometry because whenever we talk about segments or we talk about angles, a lot of times we're talking about if they are congruent to each other. And here's what that means. Congruence literally means has the same measure. So I can say MN and QP are congruent because they have the same measure. Okay, now if I wanted to say equals, I have to say it like this. I have to say the measure of MN, the measure of the distance from M to N is equal to the measure of Q to P. That's how I have to say it if I want to say with the equal sign. This says the measurements are equal. This says the segments are congruent. Let me say that again. The measurement from M to N and from Q to P is equal. The segments are congruent. And that's all I got. If you have any questions, please come talk to me. You'll get some practice with this.